Well, hello, and welcome after a long time that we've been apart. It's been a while. It's been like a hot few minutes, like a real hot few minutes. More than that, I feel like it's been hours. But it's been hot because I've been in Florida, of all places. That's hot. I seriously, I think I'm pretty sure after the time that I spent there, I probably became Florida man. But no, it's like, let me tell you. Let me tell you about my Disney disaster and Disney experience and being like the heavy metal Partridge Family just driving across America and all the Bible Belt states. That was interesting. And yeah, you know, I've been abroad and now I've been sucked right up through the chasm and the vacuum right back into Canada. And I'm happy that I'm home. I had a great time in the States. But, like I say, I almost became fucking Florida man. It was a slippery slope. A real slippery slope. And fucked up shit is happening in the house. Fucked up shit. Oh, fucked up shit. Oh, I got some fucked up shit to tell you about. Let's give them something to talk about, Mickey Mouse. Seriously. Yeah, let's. First off, I welcome you formally to a long overdue episode of 21st Century Rocker Mom Podcast with me, your host, Tanny Candler. I'm here hanging out with you for another episode. I think this is 106, probably. I think we're around there. Oh my gosh. I'm your sassy host. I'm not too classy, but that's me. I've found out that I'm not too classy lately because I've been not doing classy things. I'm mad. But today, I woke up to bad news this morning, actually. Like, I woke up to really get, early to do work anyway. That I was like, I didn't have to do the work, but it was work that I was like, oh, I want to do this later. If I do it now, excuse me, allergies. I'm going to feel better if I do it now. So I did it early. And I started doing work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I woke up to the news, of course, and I see that Matthew Perry had passed away, which makes me so sad because that's such a bummer because he was such a nice man and he seemed so sweet and he genuinely really cleaned his life up and he genuinely gave things to people that were suffering from addiction and those health issues. And he had Perry House at his house to help people get clean and stuff, so it's really scary. It's really scary to see that he passed away so young too. So it's sad. It's sad to see people pass away. Not cool. But like I say, he had his struggles before he even got sober. So many times he's been in and out of rehab and things and Vicodin and alcohol problems. I mean, we all have our struggles and our demons. I've had mine as well. I'll talk about those later. But it was just really sad to see someone young like that go, especially when they come out on the other side, they come out sober. And then you see them go. And that's why I don't drink alcohol or anything like that, but I do drink. This is crazy. I got, if you can see this, it's like the pitch black Mountain Dew. Pitch black. Because I tried that Coke, that Star Wars Coke. Tastes like regular Coke, but more galactic. Try the Y2 Coke, Y2 3000 or Y3000 Coke. So, hopefully nobody shook this. Nope, we're safe. I'm going to try the black, the midnight pitch black Mountain Dew. It smells really fruity, not like a Coke at all. It doesn't smell like dark soda pop does. That's like a citrus fruit punch. That's almost like a Hawaiian punch, but more citrusy. It's yummy. It's good. I like it. That's great. Mountain Dew Pitch Black. I encourage you. I encourage you to brush your teeth after you have that. That's a lot of fucking sugar. But seriously, Mountain Dew Black. Give it a try. It's good. So I had to try that. I was misrepping Canada while I was over in America and our friendly ways and the things that we say that we are in the way that we usually behave. Usually we're behave ourselves and we're super friendly. And I'm always with the manners and the please and the thank you and the, ma'am and the sir. Always. I'm always like that no matter what. However, In Magaville, where I was, it was strange. Like, I don't know if it was the 22 hours in the car and the kids going freaking bonkers 24/7. The heat, like the density of the people, like the population of people, and then like the kind of people and the attitudes on people, attitudes of cast members at Disney. There were a lot of things that kind of contributed to some shittiness that went on there. Big time. Seriously, my anxiety was through the roof. And I'm now like that anxiety-ridden lady who's like Florida man. Because I went to Florida and went fucking crazy. And a few of my friends warned me, like, why the fuck are you, of all people, going to Florida? You're not going to be able to handle it. It's going to be like a dystopian fucking planet for you. It was. On the whole, most of the people were really nice. And everything was good. Except for a few really bad incidents. And the ones that are bad, they're going to be really bad. Like, you're going to talk about them because of how bad they are. Because they're real bad. Real bad. Let's start. Because we drove down there, like I say, like the heavy metal partridge family. Because unfortunately, I cannot fly due to anxiety, number one. And number two, seizures. I don't know if I'm going to have a seizure on the plane, so I got to be careful. We drove. More controlled, easy. Lots of hospitals on the way. Da-da-da. Whatever. Easier too with our son because he has diabetes. So traveling with a disability is weird. It's hard. It's different. It's difficult. And especially if you're dependent on anything, any medication that you take daily, traveling with that ailment or that illness or that disability is a challenge. And I will get into that. But I'll tell you, trucking down the I-75 with your whole fam family, because I can't fucking drive anymore. Like, they took my license away because of seizure, so Rob had to drive the whole time. Let's start at Disneyworld. Like I say, like at the beginning of the trip, I was kind of like upset because I just did not want to drive that long. And I was like, honestly, I don't want to go to America right now. I'm like, with the way things are politically and like all the war going on and everything like that, I'm like, I'm afraid to kind of go over because like, what if American troops have to get involved? And like, what's going to go on? Like, is there going to be huge upheaval when we go over to America? What's like, I don't know what's going on in the world. Like, what's going on? So I was worried about that a little bit. Clearly my dog's worried about it too. But honestly, we hit some friggin' crazy ass stops in between. Especially, I will tell you, anytime like getting into Atlanta is always the biggest hullabaloo ever. But Georgia, as soon as we cross into the state of Georgia, I can like breathe a little bit. The people there are so nice. I've never had any trouble. I never had a shitty hotel stay. I've never had a shitty restaurant experience. I've never had a shitty people experience, human experience, just interacting with someone else in Georgia, in the state of Georgia. Like literally ever. And I've been there a lot. And Atlanta specifically, like people, Atlanta and Savannah, hilarious, they rhyme, but like really, oh my gosh, I've had such good luck with the folks there. They're just so nice. And particularly because I've been eating my way across America. Now, the same at home too. Oh, they had the best biscuits and gravy on the way there at the one hotel in Atlanta. Oh my gosh. Their biscuits and gravy, like number one, they're like the way they greeted us when we arrived was so nice. They were so sweet. And then we had biscuits and gravy the next day. And it was like someone's grandma made it like in the kitchen. It was so amazing. The biscuits were scratch and the gravy was scratch. And it was just phenomenal. I had it with a big glass of orange juice. I may be growing in circumference because getting your way across America is what can you do? But like I say, went some good stops in between, got some pecans, got some peanuts from Jimmy Carter's peanut farm and all that stuff. And you know, we all went for like a trip to Disney World, but here's what you don't know. We met Ariel, and all of us met Ariel, so I can kick that off my bucket list because we have the same hair, and she showed me her dingle hopper. And she was talking about flounder, like she didn't break character the whole time. She was really good. She had like an amazing tail and everything. So seeing Ariel was cool. We went to the Be Our Guest restaurant. Because let's just face it, I wanted to try the gray stuff. And guess what? It's delicious. But they sat us in the West Wing, and that's forbidden. So it like thunderstorms there all the time at the West Wing. And then the beast comes out and like comes to your table, but you can't get up and do anything. Otherwise, like it'll roar at you and stuff. But petals fall from the flowers. Pretty magical. Food at Be Our Guest was excellent. The only thing about Be Our Guest was the food was amazing. But the chef was a fucking idiot. Because of my son's diabetes, we went to Disney and they say, we'll take care of you with, carb plans and different things for his diabetes because he's on a disability plan when he goes to Disney. They call it DAS pass. It just said disability accessibility sort of like program. And so we said to the wait staff, do you guys have a carb, counter? Most of the restaurants had given us a carb counter. They didn't have one. So we'll go get the chef. Cool beans. Okay, so they go get the chef. Chef comes out. And he's like, I'm like, do you have any carb counts or anything like that? He's like, no. No, we don't. We don't have anything like that here because Matt's like math and science, and I don't know any of that. Like, so you're not going to cook my steak at the proper temperature because that's like math and science and shit. Like, I'm thinking, wait, how the fuck did you become a chef at a pretty like renowned restaurant at Disney World? And you're telling me literally to my face that you don't know math and or science? That's pretty telling. Anyways, the food was good. And it's a good thing that I am who I am. And I am good with diabetes, nursing and stuff like that. And, I got the appropriate dose into our son and made sure everything was like measured properly. And his carbs were good and everything like that. But for someone not to know, especially a chef, that's really bad. And to say that you don't know math or science, it made my brain hurt so much. So much. And then more ableism. On to the 7 Doors Mine Train. So, like I say, my son has this Disney DAS pass. And like, they make a big deal of calling you a few weeks before you go and saying, okay, you have invisible disability. It's diabetes. We'll make sure we take care of you. You won't wait any longer than, X amount of minutes in line. We'll make sure everything is okay. Make sure you don't have a low. Make sure, so you manage your sugars. There's a place for you to take this, take that, take insulin, whatever. So they said, yeah, we're going to take care of you. They're full of shit. They did not take care of us. So we went to the ride with the 7 Dwarfs Mine Train where you go up with the roller coaster and it's like Snow White and all the 7 Dwarfs and stuff. It's fast. It's fun. And so we go in the DAS line for it's called a lightning lane for people that have disabilities. And my son scanned first. It came up. Yes, he has a disability. So he goes. So the rest of us went behind him and everything. And then when we get there, there was a cast member and her name was Nessie, which was completely fitting. She was a total fucking monster that I'd never want to fucking see again. See once and then never see again. Asshole. Rob politely asked her, like, how long do you think it's going to be? He's here on a DAS, which you could see on her screen, but he was disabled and they can't wait long lines because he could have a low or whatever, like a diabetic low. Or he could need insulin and be higher. Anyways, it could be affecting his blood sugar. So how do we move this along? She literally turns her fucking back to us. She's like, yeah, whatever. Like, gives us the cold shoulder. And then someone else comes in with a visible disability. Like I'm saying, like they were in a wheelchair. So she's like, come on in. I was just like, did that just happen in real life? So I talked to her. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, my son has a disability just because you can't see it. I'm like, do you want to see the thing on his arm? Like, the thing that he wears to monitor his blood sugar? Like, what the fuck's your problem? Like, you can see right on his profile that they give you on this little screen. And Disney employees and cast members have been known to be really ableist. And like adults there too, like butting in front of kids, disabled children at parades and things like that, kids with physical and mental disabilities and emotional disabilities, all kinds of different things. Kids that are really excited, more excited even, maybe sensory to see the parade. And adults are just like butting in front of them. It's Disney. I thought they'd come far from ableism and being stupid like that, but not so much. So this woman was a monster on 7 Doors Mine Train. We told guest relations. They didn't really give a shit. Then we're like, okay, this can't get any worse. So we're off to dinner for a character dining with Winnie the Pooh and friends and everything at the Crystal Palace restaurant. We been there before, years ago. And our reservation, we were about 35 minutes early. Checked in. They said, okay, go ahead, check in. Didn't say much about it. And at 5 o'clock, when our reservation was, my son has to eat at certain times because of his diabetes and his blood sugar. I can't just prop him up with sugar forever, or eventually he has to have food and insulin. So we go, and they're like, well, we're running about 35 minutes late. So my partner is like, we got here 35 minutes ago. You didn't tell us that then. So now we're going to be waiting for over an hour here, sitting here. He's like, my son's diabetic, and like, he needs to have food on time so he can have his medicine on time and stuff. You guys have that into account. Like, you can see that on his profile. And they're like, oh, well, we can bring you some food like outside. I'm like, so you want him to eat outside like an animal? And then when it's time for us to eat, like, he has to come inside and watch us all eat without him? I'm like, that's fucked. Like, so I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. Rob was in tears. He was so fucking angry. Like, just fucking red, just everything pouring down his face, every emotion. So he went to like the hotel resort like manager and talked to them about it, and they sorted some things out and had some talks. But Disney has ableism living there alive and well. And I thought that they'd taken care of this kind of thing, but no. They haven't. They lied. They didn't take care of my son. It's like bullshit. Like every other part of like the Disney like magic that you start seeing through when everything's a la carte. My son at one point was like, I kind of just want to burn all my Disney shit. And he said shit because he was angry. And like, he saw how people were treating him. Like the first day he goes to Disney World, he gets discriminated against like 3 separate times. Not cool, Disney. And then racism and cultural appropriation that's like alive, especially in Asia, in Epcot Center. Like, I'm just going to say one thing, like straw hats. Like, unless you're working like in a rice paddy, like over in Asia, I don't think anyone should be wearing those or even selling those. I think it's ridiculous. And to see like people walking around with them on their heads, like walking around Epcot and stuff like that. My son was so angry. He was like, those people definitely don't have any Asian in their background. What the hell's wrong with people? I'm just like, I don't know, buddy. Like, I literally can't tell you what's wrong with people because I don't know myself. People just do things, without thinking, and they think they're funny and whatever. But like, come on. It's a hat. You don't have to put it on. Like, be better. Be better than that. We can now smile on your brother. Come on. Everybody just, shitting in the streets in Walt Disney World, especially in Magic Kingdom. I mean, the streets in Frontierland by Liberty Square are paved with fecal matter. Human fecal matter. It's the Brown River. It's permanent, and it pays homage to the time where somewhere like that would have had raw sewage like running through it. So it's a river of poo just running through Liberty Square, representing all the sewage backups that they wouldn't have had then because they wouldn't have had sophisticated ways to eradicate waste. So they just walked around and shit, and everybody's just drip, drip, dripping in Liberty Square in the olden days, just dripping away. Disneyland has some like fucking dark sides though, like really crazy ass dark sides, like really crazy ones, like films they used to produce. Have a drink because it's dry, frig. Disney was one of the companies that was famous for producing war films. Not only films about, our troops being over there, but also like instructional films for soldiers and stuff like that. How to do certain things, how to disarm this, how to eat certain meal packs, whatever, certain instructional videos and things like that. But Disney also did all kinds of films, especially in the 60s, mid-60s, films about eugenics. And some of the films were with like Donald Duck and stuff like that. And I've seen some of them. And I did a deep dive on some of these films. And it's supposed to be, Disney's supposed to be the happiest place on earth filled with little kids. And it's a small world after all. And we're all from everywhere. We have to be neighbors from everywhere. But eugenics, really had a focus on racial improvement and like purifying one specific race. So kind of like Disney seems like to have deep roots to the KKK. Like that's not a small world after all. That's the same world after all, where everybody's like an Aryan sort of race. It's weird. There's all this like planned breeding to help like fortify the white race. And that's kind of like what eugenics was teaching with these Disney films. It's really creepy. There's so many things that can happen like on Disney proper, because Disney has its own cops. Like they have their own like rule system. Like you're not allowed to scatter ashes, for instance. And they got special like vacuuming systems and special protocol in places for if somebody scatters ashes on something, like what they do, how they get rid of human remains or something like that. So there have been so many suicides on Disney property where so many people have just basically jumped from balconies of hotels, really high floors. Someone's like jumped from a Mickey, like a welcome Mickey like sign and stuff like that, and like they ended up being found like dead in the parking lot. Lots of suicides. There was a drunk man in 1981 who assaulted a cast member of the Tower of Terror. He was drinking and he assaulted a cast member. So the cast member went ape shit and fucking pepper sprayed the guy. So it came back to this person. They don't fuck with this cast member. And then in 1981, a teenager was stabbed fatally during a knife fight in Disney World. Now, Disney has a bad reputation for treating its employees like shit and cast members like shit. And a lot of the mascots, the people that dress up as these characters in these parade suits and everything, a lot of their worst complaints are heat stroke and falling over and getting sick from heat stroke and not enough water and water breaks and shade breaks and chiller breaks. It's hot in fucking Florida and those mascots don't take a break. So what happens? Like, people fall the fuck over. Even so far as a little girl claimed that Winnie the Pooh turned around and slapped her. Slapped her in Disney World. So what happened? It went to court. It went to court because Winnie the Pooh and the person in the costume just said when they turned around, their costume was so like chubby, it couldn't have hit her because the arms were too short or whatever. So it just turned around and the arms swung but never connected with the kid. So the court like recreated where the kid was and Winnie the Pooh turned around and guess what? Didn't hit her with the arms. So the kid was lying about being smacked by Winnie the Pooh. Either way, took Winnie the Pooh to fucking court. Didn't sue the pants off Winnie the Pooh because Winnie the Pooh doesn't wear no pants. Generally. Oh my God, I'll tell you. Where do you go in Liberty Square when you want to cool off? You know what I mean? When you're waiting for rides and like the Haunted Mansion, you've already gone on that and done a few things in Frontierland. You did Big Splash Mountain or whatever and you're just kind of waiting around for the next thing. You cool off. You learn something. You want to use every bit of your trip you can as teachable moments. Use them as teachable moments as a parent. So, where do you take kids when in Liberty Square? I took them to the American Hall of Presidents. The Hall of American Presidents in Disney World. And the Hall of Presidents is actually cool because it has teachable moments. You can teach the kids about all the different kinds of presidents and they're all there like in animatronic form and they show a film and stuff like that about their history of American presidency. And there's a lot of things that kids can learn from that. But we had the most rude family sit in front of us. And I've never had this happen in my life. We're just kind of sitting there with the kids. And all of a sudden, like, there's just a million seats in front of us. Like a million. You could just sit anywhere you wanted. Anywhere. This family of people just comes real tall, sits in front of us. Now, my kids can't see for shit. They can't see anything. I'm like, Rob and I can't see. So Rob just kind of goes, oh, excuse me. Like, that's awfully rude. You'd come and sit in front of us. You know, there's so many other places to sit. You know, why would you come and sit in front of us? And this lady just fucking starts going off. Oh my God, do you think your husband's just going to run his mouth off and I'm just going to sit here and listen to it? And I'm just like, so I couldn't believe what she said. So I was like, bitch, do you want to catch my fucking hands today? She was going to be said, oh, please, honey. Oh, you don't want to even try. Okay. And I'm like, listen, bitch, I'll take these two fucking fingers right here and I will fucking take you apart and not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And their mom tries to like pipe up, who's like 90. Like she's like fucking shooting her mouth off too. She's got her 2 fucking potato fucking looking children attached to her fucking tit because they're her fucking boyfriend or whatever he is are fucking related. He doesn't dare say shit if his mouth's full of it because you know she's got his dick and balls in a mason jar underneath the fucking sink. He's too pussed out to say anything. Grandma pipes up. Oh, you don't want to start today, huh? I'm like, do you want your other fucking hip, Grandma? Like, do you want it broken? Because I'll fucking bust the other side, bitch. She didn't have fuck all to say. Then they applauded when, like, the Donald Trump animatronic robot came on stage. I was like, what's up, mega dicks? Anyways, not that I like Joe Biden either. They're all so fucking old. I don't like either of them. Anyways, but, like, this is day 1 at Disney. I get the Alabama Slammer. This bitch didn't even want to fucking look at me on the way out. I had my arms crossed. She came walking past me. I gave her one of these. She wouldn't even fucking make eye contact with me. I'm like, don't try me today, but like you will catch my fucking hands. The rest of the trip was pretty quiet. As far as going to Epcot Center, oh, we ate at some crazy ass restaurants that had some of the craziest food. The one place we always eat is like the Jungle Navigation Cantina. And they have really good, like they had lamb there and they had like Brazilian cloud bread, which is amazing, which is not on the regular menu. You gotta ask for it. We ate at a really nice Italian restaurant that we eat at a lot when we go to Disney. Anytime we go there, we eat at this Italian restaurant. They have this like giant fried fresh mozzarella ball. It's awesome. They have like amazing fresh bread and like garlic and oil and all those nice little things they bring you at your table that are fun. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's an atmosphere too. They sat us at the Guy Lombardo table, who's from London. So that was kind of cool. That's really, really cool. But like I say, after day 1, I kind of wanted to leave. I'm not going to lie. It was hard. And Rob and I kind of therefore gave it another try as per the kids. We kind of said to the kids, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Because we were just ready to pack up and just do a road trip down the I-75 home. And go to places and stop along the way, like aquariums or attractions or whatever, you have it. But I don't want the kids to learn to paint everybody with the same brush and realize that not everybody who treated Harrison like crap was going to treat everyone like crap all the time. So I let the kids kind of pick everything and they realized that not everyone is racist or ableist or whatever. Not everybody can be painted with the same brush. So they like let's give it another try, Mom. Okay, let's do it. So we stayed all of the days. We gave it all of the tries. Star Wars, we did the Star Wars immersive thing. We went to Star Wars Land. Holy shit, it was awesome. It was like I thought I was gonna get jerked around a lot more than we did, but it wasn't like jerky or scary at all because my seizures. So I was like terrified. I was like I had to steer and be a pilot while my son and like Rob were like gunners and stuff, and me and my daughter like got to like steer and stuff. She was steering up and down. She was crashing a lot, but she like, we didn't get any points docked. She was having a great time. I was going side to side. So trying to do evasive moves and stuff like that so the boys could shoot. Cool. And then we did like soaring and stuff like that, where you're flying all over the place and it's really cool. And then we did, oh my God. 0 out of 10. Would not fucking recommend. We did Guardians of the Galaxy. No. Fucking no. I almost got sick to my stomach. I was like whiter than a sheet of paper. I cried with my head down in my lap the whole time. It had Tears for Fears playing. Welcome to your life. It sounds like it's going to be awesome. It's got a great like banging, kicking soundtrack. It's going to be fun. I'm ready for it. Everybody wants to rule the... Then they drop your ass and you go like sideways and inside out and fucking banking this way and bank. It was... I've never been on a ride this insane in my life. I thought I was going to die. I had my eyes closed half the time. Oh my God. We got off and I was like, my stomach's still going. We just had like the most amazing Mexican food from this restaurant called La Hacienda. It's amazing, amazing food. Like, and so scratch made like Mexican and Salvadorian food, like really good, really authentic stuff. Not like Americanized, Taco Bell or something like that. Just good food. It was amazing. But Guardians of the Galaxy, no. No, thank you. No. Fuck that. Fuck it forever. We met Figment, though. We met Figment at Epcot. Because it's like a world of imagination. And we wanted to meet Figment. It was never like a meet and greet character. So we met him, which was really cool. The food was excellent, like I say. I got me a brand new belly from all the things I've been eating. Oh my God. Because like I've been eating like nonstop like steaks and like bacon this and bacon that all day and eggs and and fall is coming up, so comfort, like it's here, and winter's coming really soon, and like it came up on us fast, and I had biscuits and gravy because of being in the South. And just a belly though. It's just a belly, not a baby. My youngest told her whole freaking JK that I am pregnant and I'm having a child. One of the kids in her class comes up to me the other day and she's like, "Hi, Miss Tanya." I'm like, "Hi, so-and-so." And she's like, "I heard you have a baby in your belly." I'm like, "No, I might give birth to 2 double cheeseburgers, but I do not have a baby in my belly." I told her teacher it's twins. Twin cheeseburgers. But seriously, I told her, I'm like, well, if I have a baby, what if the baby really likes to cuddle with your dad? And what if the baby needs daddy cuddle? She's like, "That's my dad." I'm like, "Oh yeah?" I'm like, "What if the baby wants to cuddle with your dad and it's the baby's dad too?" I don't want a baby anymore. So no more babies there. Nope. Mommy just ate her way across America. And now I have a food baby. I had to deal with like some Kentucky Fried bullshit on the way back. This vacation was not what I would call a vacation. It's what I would call an experience. It was called an experience. Definitely was a vacation experience. I was nervous crossing the border because, number one, I always get nervous crossing the border, even though I didn't really kind of sort of bring something illegal. A little bit. I brought my dad with me, like just some of his ashes, because I didn't know if I was going to scatter him somewhere or not. If there was a place in the ocean he wanted to be on Pirates of the Caribbean, he wanted to be on a bunch of different places. So I'm like, where can I scatter him? So I didn't know if I was going to get him across the border. So I was like freaking out. And that was the time to unveil the green ribbon, because I didn't tell anyone the whole time we were traveling that I had my dad with me. And even when we went to the parks at Disney, they searched through my bag and they weren't like, "What's this?" I think I would be like, "My dad." Like, "What do you want me to tell you?" Like, you're not allowed to release cremains at Disneyworld. And if you do, and you get caught, you get in really, really big trouble. So I brought my dad with me. And then also, which was crazy, because the best ride I went on at Disney World, other than like the Pirates of the Caribbean, was like a $12.50 ride in a chair, a massage chair, and a laundromat in the laundry room at the resort. And it was so good. It squeezed me in all the right places, and I loved it. It was so good. Oh my God. This vacation though was crazy. Like, I need a vacation to actually like relax, because I need to catch up on sleep, because traveling as a medical cannabis user and going to all the states where it's actually like illegal blows ass, because then you can't take it at all. And applying for the medical stuff, like, it's not worth it, because the medical stuff, like most of the fun stuff, sucked out of it. So you can't get any really great stuff that's going to work as a medication. So I was miserable. I was a miserable bitch. Oh my God. And as like for pain and seizures, etc., like I didn't have any seizures, but the pain was not good. Like I had to take a leave and I had to take Tylenol, which I usually don't take any medication at all, but I had to take something because it wasn't fun. Now, until you've been addicted to like opiates and painkillers, like you won't understand why I don't take anything stronger than like Aleve or Tylenol. I think it's even that I don't like taking. Until you fall asleep in your soup in front of your dad, you have no idea. Until you detoxed in front of one of your parents, sweated out at home and like puked your guts out. One day I was so high, I can remember, well, I can sort of remember, my dad told me this way before he passed away, that I passed out from taking pills. I took, Danny, I remember saying, slow down those things. You know how many you took? I'm like, no, I don't know how many I took. And they're pain pills. And I fell asleep in my soup at the kitchen table, just in the middle of the day. And my dad was also there when I did my detox, and I got off all that shit. And it was like having the flu times 1,000,000. But he was there the whole time. It was not good. It was not pretty. Dads are like pretty amazing people, let me say. And I talk about mine a lot because, like, let's face it, I miss him for fuck's sakes. So that's why I talk about him a lot. And I become more like him day after day. Looking out of my lonely room. Like Badfinger. Like, seriously, I am becoming him more and more every day. My dads remind me of the rites of passage that we have as children. Like the rules and things that get passed down to us that we do with certain ages. Girls and boys and stuff like that. For me as a young woman, rites of passage were things like getting your period. Gross, fun, amazing. Losing your virginity, also, yay, fun. You get to leak, and then you get to lose your V card. Some needle dick teenage boy who has no idea what to fucking do with it. No way am I teaching my kids that, like, getting, like, dick down is a way to either lose or take someone's virginity. Like, that's not losing your virginity. Like, that's not, losing your virginity is when you have pleasure, you have mutual respect, you have mutual consent, you're mutually having a good time, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is losing your virginity, not a quick bang in the back seat. Yeah, it's going to be awkward, but in no way, shape, or form should it be lost when there's no mutual, like, respect, and there's no mutual consent, and there's no mutual, like, comfort even. End of. That's what losing your virginity should be. That's what it should be. That's what I think it is. That's what it was when I finally lost my virginity at the actual age I lost it at. Because it wasn't the, like, biological age I lost it at, because just getting dick down by some needle dick boy who doesn't know what to do with it doesn't count. So mine doesn't count. I demand a recount. Another rite of passage here is going to bring me right to beards and bitchin'. Because are you all still teaching your sons to shave? Like, shave their faces? What the fuck is wrong with you? Teaching your sons to shave. You show this kid their first beard ever. You show them the majesty of it and how beautiful this beard is. And then you show it to them holding a cold razor and cold scissors up to it, just cutting it and rinsing it down the sink. Are you trying to traumatize your child? That's child abuse. That's traumatizing your kids. Captain Hook would say that's bad form. That's bad form. And I think that's totally bad form. Not in this house, son. It's not going to happen. Before you consider letting your kid put that cold, sharp, sterile razor blade to their beautiful face, consider raising a razor hater. This fully guarantees the indoctrination into the bearded community, and the fact that not by force, by example, that they will be led to grow a majestic facial forest and just grow a beard by, like I say, example. It'll just happen. Lots of amazing beards on the way, up and down the I-75 and in Florida, by the way. 20 some odd products brought, like oils and 20 like butters, and all gone, like all given away. I brought lots of samples with me. I made some friends, like I said, gave out stuff. It's funny when I give out stuff too, even like here, when I give out stuff to friends here, like I have a lot of friends that buy off me regularly, and so I'll make them something special. And I'll be like, this is the you know, this is what I think you smell like. And so I'll make them that. And they'll be like, oh, what scents are in that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't write down the scent profile. Shit, I'm like, what does it smell like to you? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, I didn't write down the profile. I'm like, I kind of got a little bit stoned, and it smelled so good at the time that I just did it. And like, I give it to them because they're like, I don't know what the hell it is, but it smells good. I'm like, well, good, because I don't know what the hell it is either. Because sometimes you're on the phone with like your besties, like your best friends, and they're like, make me an oil. Can you make me an oil for my hair? I'm like, yeah, sure. Can you make me an oil for shaving my legs? Yeah, sure. What do you want it to smell like? And I get carried away because we get talking. I get different things in there, and I end up sending it away to them or giving it to them when I see them, and not too shabby. Always good creations. I caught up on some reviews and a few lives because I'm always like the replay squad because I can't be there always live. A lot of times the kids are still up and I haven't put them to bed yet. So I keep weird hours, man. I keep fucking weird ass hours. I just disappear into the void. So I started watching more, like, again, like I say, like reviews, more reviews, not just reviews on my products, on other products, and watching other channels, watching reviewers, watching lots of shorts, and like I say, watching like lives and things like that. But I have to be like the replay squad, so I don't participate in the conversations or anything like that because I'm watching the live to watch like the person be interviewed or the banter, like the back and forth conversation. I like long form conversation, so I'll watch shows that have people talk for a long time, and there's a lot of conversation going back and forth between multiple people. I like round robins and things like that. I think they're fun in any capacity. I was really surprised to see one of my favorite YouTube channels, probably like one of my favorite groups of people that have a YouTube channel, and it's actually one of my favorite shows actually, and it has to do with beards because, like, I'm talking about beards and bitchin here. I love their long form conversations. And what surprised me about this show is they always have lots of guests on, and I watch for their personalities because they're all really fun. And they're each sort of like their thing they kind of bring to the table. And then I watch for like who their guests are. And I was really surprised to see who their guest was the one day, because the guest they had on the show is a pretty like little known content creator. Like people in the beard world like know who they are, but they're not very super well known. They don't have a huge following. They kind of create more trouble than content, I guess. They like stir the pot more than they like make things in the pot. The people who stir the shit pot gotta lick the spoon eventually. You know what happens. I can remember in the early days of me starting like Rockaholic, like my company, I'd mentioned that I was going to be on this particular show, as they had graciously kind of invited me on, like, hey, Tanya, you're a new owner. Would you like to be on this program with us? And we'll talk to you, you know, we'll have a kind of a roundtable discussion about beards and why you did this. And he told me that they were the biggest jokes in the entire bearded community and everyone laughs at them. And so to see him be on the show, my like brain wanted to email these people and send them a message and be like, this asshole. But then I don't want to like hurt their feelings and be like, yeah, he said all these horrible things about you and calls you this and calls you a joke. I like kind of had the right mind of me to go on live and be like, hey, so why are you on the show if you think these folks are a joke? But I didn't. I held it back with a good heart. I honestly couldn't even watch. I couldn't watch live because the gentlemen that run this show are so lovely and they're very experienced, especially just experienced beardsmen. And to be disrespectful is just not cool to these people. And my parents didn't raise me like this. They didn't raise me no fool. So I don't want to be disrespectful. So it seems everything that this guy touches turns to shit. Like he kind of does it himself. I haven't seen anything from this company. He did a collab with a company earlier this year or late last year. And I haven't seen fucking fuck all from this company since maybe March. And it was like a post on Instagram. And that's it. That's it. Since like almost a year. And they've done nothing. They haven't put out anything at all. And now, like, let me say, the scent that they put out with this person was terrible. Even the owner themselves said it was unique. So when they say it's like unique and they put it out with someone else, you can tell that they kind of probably hate it and probably just did the collab with someone just to shut them the fuck up. But it happened, and they haven't done anything since. Like I say, super quiet in the community, nothing new, fucking strange. The moral of the story: toxic people create toxic situations. Stay away from them, keep your distance, don't get collaborative with them, and don't do things with them. Stay away. Pinky up. Oh, that said, let's talk about stuff that doesn't smell like shit. I finished our holiday line here at Rockaholic. My holiday line. I always say our, and I talk in that person like there's so many of us. No, it's just the multiplicity that is me and how many jobs I fucking do and how many fucking hats I wear. At the company, like I say, I created and finished 4 scents Feliz Navidad to celebrate the holidays. And my 1 year, almost, I guess, as a company is coming up in November. I didn't even realize that I'd been in business for almost a year. And so, why not have the anniversary scent almost come out too? I don't know which one it's going to be the anniversary scent, but like, it's not going to have champagne or anything like that because I don't drink. But like the anniversary is in November. These things are going to drop as soon as they can because the labels are going out. They've gone out. I got the okay with the art and everything like that. Got new artistry and stuff like that. And some cool shit is coming at you. I love Christmas scents all year. So I don't know if I'm going to keep them all year or what. Like I have, these scents are super unique. They're not traditional Christmas scents. You're not going to get a Christmas tree that smells like some piney, really piney pine sol, like obnoxious car air freshener scent pine. I don't fucking like that. I don't like that smell. Like if I want to smell like a fucking tree, I want to be like a sexy ass walk in the forest. Nothing like that. Like if it's going to be a foodie scent, it's going to be a good food scent. It's going to be a good mix. It's not going to be like, hey, gingerbread house. I mean, well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's so mainstream and traditional. Just like everybody does that, right? It's like, oh, Christmas tree. This smells like a Christmas tree. Cool. Santa's smoking a pipe. So it's like Santa's tobacco, Santa's cabin, Santa's smelly hat. I don't want to smell all those things. Santa's flannel, you know what I mean? Like, I want something a little bit Santa's bourbon, Santa's liquor. Like, it's always booze. I don't see Santa as like a drunk or anything like that. I could see like maybe a Santa with like a fatty in his mouth with like maybe some weed or something. Although I did not put any cannabis in the sense. This year, there's no stone Santas, but they're not traditional. We have winter scents in the main line too. I mean, Snowcore is a super winter scent, I would say, for cold weather. Snowcore's got that like nice fur, that winter cold fur. It's almost got a frost in it. It's got that mandarin in it. It's got vetiver in it. It's like really, really light and it opens up. It's really cold for winter. It's beautiful. And then also like we got Golden God, which is like the ultimate Christmas Eve 70s church. Baby Jesus, I have a gift for you. It's up in my bum. Pum. Like seriously. All those scents, those are perfect for holiday scents, like especially going to church. Those scents are like amazing. But this Santa has gone to town this year. And Santa doesn't want to bore anyone, and neither do I. So seriously, I am so excited for these scents. They're a fucking money. They took me 6 months fucking conceptually to figure out, to sniff out, to see what I was going to do while I was doing the Halloween scents and everything too. And I had to contend with pumpkin spice on top of, which drowns out everything. And, some I'm using some strong scents, ones that I haven't used before, that you haven't even seen before. I've got moves you've never seen. So you're going to see them. But there'll be lots of teasers before you get the Christmas scents, lots of teasers. They're going to be available live in person at Punk Rock Flea Market early December. They'll be alive, and ready to go on the site. I'll have them ready to ship out to you. I haven't decided if I'm going to do butters yet too, but I probably will. You know me. And the conditioners will be out then too. I'm excited to be with my community, like I say, with Punk Rock Flea Market, and be and vent and smile and keep folks warm with like-minded people that like to do the same things that I do and help the community and doing what we do best, taking care of business and making sure people are happy. I literally have the best job in the fucking world. And if you can't say that right now, you need to put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it, and just stop and just figure it out. Why don't you like things right now? Why don't you have the best job in the world? Why aren't things the best? Nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent here. We're in a constant state of flux and change, and that's a good thing. That's okay. That's a very good thing. For instance, my eyes are not the same as they used to be. A change of glasses takes more than 1 hour at Lens Crafters now. It takes 2 weeks. I used to go get a fucking Cinnabon and go to the record store with my dad or whatever and get a record, or go to the music store and get some music for my guitar or piano or whatever. Get a Cinnabon and my glasses would be ready. Not the case anymore, my friends. It takes 2 weeks. The guy on the phone fucking laughed at my Polish ass. Man, I miss the 90s. Because he's like, glasses have really changed in the last 30 years. I'm like, have they? Have they really? Have they changed that much? They're just glasses. Like they're hipper, I guess. My house is changing as we decorate out the walls for Halloween. We love Halloween at this house. It's all year for this creepy bitch. I love Halloween. Seriously. I went out as Jim Jones earlier today in a cloak and some papal robes and some Kool-Aid and all that stuff. I'm giving out candy to everybody. Everybody who wants it, everybody who gets it. I don't care what age you are, if you're an adult, if you're a kid, if you say trick or treat or not. Some people, you know what? Some people can't say trick or treat. Some people screaming trick or treat is too sensory for them. Some adults have developmental disabilities and still like have that want to trick or treat. Like some adults just want to trick or treat. So anyone who comes to my door, who has the balls enough to come to my door, gets a candy. It's Halloween. Like, fuck all the way off. I just saw a study that said that Canadians were divided on whether they were giving out Halloween candy or not. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Seriously, Halloween's fun. Do you remember fun? Do you remember fun? It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. We went to Halloween in the village yesterday. We went trick-or-treating there with the kids. They had some bands playing. It was great in Worley Village. Saw some friends, got to hang out with some people, saw some great beards, got to give out some beard oil, went to a not so creepy, a basic witch market as well. Got to see some cool vendors, got some cool shirts, got some really cool things, did some oil stuff, some exchanges and some tradesies with some pals. Actually, one of my pals is going to be on the podcast soon because we're having a sleepover extravaganza that's going to turn into a podcast. But it's going to be a long one. Maybe it's going to be a live one, but it's going to be a sleepover extravaganza. You're going to spend the night with our two crazy asses and see what happens. We're going to spend the night with you. Spend the night with us. Like I say, we went to another scary house. It was like a haunted ride that I call it. Like I take the kids on a ride. I find out all where the scariest and best houses are for Halloween. And then I map them out, and then we make an itinerary, bring sandwiches in the car and whatever, and insulin for my son. And we know where the McDonald's are in the farm towns because I grew up going back and forth to the farm towns, and my cottages up there where my dad lived, like when he was alive, was up there. So I know my way around there. I learned how to drive up there. Huron County, baby! Like I say, so we went to the town of Zurich. Zurich's a little town up there off Highway 21, and it has this house, and it's the creepiest house. One side's all clowns, and just this lady, an elderly lady and her husband, they do it every year. Every year it gets better and better, and they enhance the collection, and they put more monsters out. They got like a giant, life-size freaking pumpkin head. It's psychotic. It's crazy. I've been watching scary films, like the classics, like the Halloween series and everything with Jamie Lee Curtis there. The Friday the 13th franchise. The Freddy, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises, the Evil Dead franchises, Reptile on Netflix with Benicio del Toro or whatever his name is, I think him. The Poughkeepsie tapes, that was fucking weird. I had to turn it off a little bit because the Poughkeepsie tapes was too much for me. I watch a lot of scary movies lately, as of late. Creepy TV, The Fall of the House of Usher. That is a strange show. Cool makeup, weird show, really good. No shock or surprise that I got hooked into how to become a cult leader because, let's face it, I'll probably never get out of that. That show is phenomenal. you see how I still get excited about cults? That little piece of excitement, that little spark will probably never leave me, because you're always going to remember that point where you felt accepted in a cult, if you ever belonged to one, and you felt like you belonged, like you never belonged before, and you never forget how someone or something made you feel. And like, I still get excited because cult trauma, like, no matter how many times you've been counseled and stuff like that, cult trauma doesn't really leave you very easily. And like I say, we don't forget how things or people made us feel. We are emotional, social animals and social beings and sentient beings. And that's the human condition. Like, feeling that way, our brains hold on to the way we feel or the way we felt, and whether or not it was insidious or pleasurable, if it felt good at the time, we're going to hold on to it. That's why if it feels good, do it, might not always be the best advice. If it feels good, do it. Like, you might hold on to that and it might not feel good later. So if it feels good and do it, you do it now just because it feels good. I don't know if that's the best advice. I might have given you that advice like 10 years ago, but not anymore. Did you enjoy my karaoke like on Instagram? Because I was singing like a little bitch while I was away, like staying amused in the car is a struggle for me because of my ADHD, and plus the kids are like doing shit in the car, and like when their iPads and stuff die, then like they don't know what to do, so I have to sing, and singing for me makes time like float away and just disappear. And I can sing pretty much anything and with pretty much any song that comes on like our Apple radio station. I know what it is. I just end up knowing it somehow. Stuff we listen to often. So I wrote some tunes while we were traveling because I was very inspired by the weather and just my surroundings and stuff like that. I didn't have any of my musical instruments, so they're all like lyrics and stuff, but I have tunes I was humming into my phone and my voice recorder and things like that. This trip was good. Music just really brings people together and brings times together, and there's a lot of things that bring people together. One is breaking bread and having like supper and having food and eating with people. I think you can have a meal and share a meal with other people. That's a huge thing. Then music really brings people together. I ran into several Kitty fans, believe it or not, at Disneyworld. And I don't know what it is about Florida. They must love their metal or something. I don't know. I took some photos and signed like an autograph book. Those Disney autograph books. And the people that I met were very gracious and very sweet and had a big love for Kitty because they knew who I was like from the start. They're like, Tanya, like Candler? I'm like, yep. Hi, how's it going? They're like, you look exactly the same. I'm like, except I don't. I'm a lot older and a lot less blonder and all those other things. But still, after all these years, it's so cool that I can just connect with people and give somebody a hug and hang out, and go for a non-alcoholic beer or whatever. We can take a picture together or do whatever, or end up becoming pen pals, or I can send them beard oil or soap or whatever. It's cool that connects people. We can connect over the internet. I think it's really, really friggin' cool. It's a really cool way to keep in touch. It's nice to be actually able to keep in touch now with the internet. There are so many advantages to technology now. So that is friggin' cool. I'll tell you what is not friggin' cool and has never been cool at all and never will be cool is war and terrorism. I kind of shut off about this completely for a while for a lot of reasons, because there was so much noise from every corner of the world and every person about the war and so much of the things that are going on in the Middle East, and everyone has their opinions of Israel and Palestine and Gaza, Hamas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, America, everything that is being talked about in the Middle East so far. Do you want to know my stance? Do you want to really know my stance? And maybe you do, and maybe you don't, but you're going to get a trigger warning on something that shouldn't need a trigger warning, I guess. My stance is a ceasefire. You know where I stand on war? I stand with peace. It shouldn't be happening in the first place. North America is fucking funding this shit. We're paying for it. While it trickles into North America, we're paying for it like both ways. Like we're going to get fucked on the way in and fucked on the way out. And the world, I mean, it's going to affect the entire world inevitably. Like it's trickling down to the entire world. The entire world. I will not support any kind of terrorism. Let me be fucking abundantly clear. I will support zero. No kind of terrorism, no act of hate, the killing of any innocent human being, civilian, sentient being. I don't care. I will not support the killing of the torture of any being. I will not get behind oppressive movements, oppressive ideologies, oppressive behaviors. I can't get on board with that fucking shit. I won't get down with a movement to keep the other person down and fuck your neighbor over. I'm not into rubbing someone's face in the dirt when they're already down and kicking someone harder when they're down. I'm not down with that. I am down with giving someone my hand and helping them the fuck back up and helping them get better. Because seriously, fuck all that shit. Nope, nope, nope. Not for me. I support peace. War is not the answer. Look at the protests like in the 60s. Look at this, what's happening. It's happening again. I know I sound crazy, but why are we hurting and punishing each other? Why is there so much human brutality that's going on? What are we doing? What the fuck is going on, man? Look at yourself. There has to be a better way, and I certainly do not have all the answers. I certainly don't have them all, but I do know this. Nothing has and was and ever has been accomplished while leading by hate and leading with division of people, of things. Nothing has ever been accomplished with hate and division. Things that generally lead with love and inclusion are those things that generally go well and go smoothly for people and beings and the world. Love doesn't start wars. No war ever started because of love. Love doesn't cause us to divide. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Our governments, folks in power, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That causes us to divide. Those people who fly under the guise of protecting us, they're funding terrorism on all sides. And they're screwing us. And if you think this is not and will not affect you and your family and inevitably the world, then you got some reading and listening to do. Because like I said, let me be super clear that I have friends living in war-torn situations on both sides, in Israel and in Palestine. I have friends that are Israeli and friends that are Palestinian. They're living on either side and they're, fighting each other. They're bombing the fucking shit out of each other. And I side with peace. Stop. Wake up. It's time to get woke, people. It's time to wake the fuck up. Really? You had your guns and your fucking freedom convoy over here and you made yourselves look like fucking assholes with all the guns and shit. And now look at all the guns. Look at all the violence and look at all the division. Is this what you wanted? You wanted your freedom because you wanted all this stuff, and no, we don't want division and all this stuff. Look how much freedom and division there is now. People actually fighting for like actual freedom. Not because they didn't want to get shot in their arm or didn't want to bring a paper over the border or something to work. People are trying to have the freedom to actually like live, have food, have fuel, not have their families ripped from them. Feels like 9/11 all over again. And we all know North America paid for that one. Big time, bushy. Just more human sacrifices to make the world, the Western world, look like fucking superheroes while there are other countries in the world just suffer. And then we get pissed off because we have to send them money. And we don't understand why they're sending the money. We're sending the money because we sent the money to fuck them over in the first place. America lets its own people be killed, and lets mass genocide happen in America so America can look better. Meanwhile, the Bushes were partying with Nazis and Nazi sympathizers, if you don't know that. You also better get fucking reading. If anyone needs a puppet for a president, I mean, you could call Ronald Reagan. Let's say, yeah, sure, he reversed the economy in the 80s, but he also flooded America with fucking drugs with his anti-drug campaign and Nancy Reagan being crazy. They needed an actor. That's what they need in America. They need an actor. They need a fucking puppet. They need one here too in Canada. They need a puppet that they can pull the strings for. That they thought, let's get Ronald Reagan. Why not get an actor? And I mean, it's pretty bad when an American president, his country and Western movies are better than his presidential campaign was. Like I say, he reversed the economy. He did. But what else did he do? He fucked it. He screwed it with corruption. And that's what they all do. If there's one thing I'll never stop doing, it's reading and learning. I grew up in the church of, Frank Zappa, so I did not trust many levels of government growing up, and I still don't now. Institutions, traditional medicines, a lot of doctors, drug companies, mainstream media, those things, not the mainstream. I will always go outside of those things. I don't buy into conspiracy theories, although I love them. I love conspiracy theories, and I love them because I'll just research the shit out of them and find out that they're false. And then I get disappointed, and then I'm kind of sad that they're false. But it's okay. Some of them sound pretty wicked, so it sucks when they get debunked and they're not real. But I do love hearing about them, and I often listen to other podcasts about them. And although there's this one podcast that I listen to specifically about conspiracy theories and like kind of really strange things like reptilian people and matrixy stuff, that it's not stuff that I necessarily agree with whatsoever. And it's stuff that I think is a little bit off the rails. And one of the hosts is really kind of just a jerk and tries to shove things down people's throats hard. And I don't like their approach to the show, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop listening to the show because we differ in opinion. Still a good show, still entertaining. It holds my attention. The people who do it overall are really charismatic. So that kind of just slides for me. I just let it go in one ear and out the other. So like, that's another example of not being divisive. Maybe listen to something or someone you don't necessarily like or agree with. Like I'll listen to Jordan Peterson, not listen to him because I want to learn anything. Listen to him because I want to find out how he ticks. Like, what's he thinking? What's going on there? I don't like Jordan Peterson. And what I learn is every time I hear him talk, why? The reason I don't like him, because he is divisive and he does spew bullshit under the guise of, being a psychologist. But you'll learn something about this other person. And if not, you don't learn anything about the other person. You'll learn something about yourself by listening to other people. The more we learn about this human condition and the condition that we all have as being humans, I think the more adept we will be, and we really build a resilience for each other, toward each other, not to just tolerate each other, but to actually get along with each other, not just put up with each other because we have to. Because like I say, inevitably we all have to live beside each other in this world. We all have to be neighbors. It's not easy. That knowledge that we get from each other is just immeasurable in how much the value it is. Like how much value you can get of knowledge from other people and knowledge through knowing other people and knowing how other people behave and how you behave around them and what you can learn from them, what they can learn from you. You can learn a lot. We can learn a lot from each other as human beings. So let's learn from each other, shall we? Instead of hating each other and shitting all over each other all the time. I think we should learn from each other. What I learned on this trip is Rob really likes the Beatles. Some of the offshoot Beatles albums, like for instance, the Magical Mystery Tour, which did terrible with the critics. Rob might now think that's his new favorite album. I also learned he loves more of the other Beatles albums. There's a new Beatles album coming out, actually just the last single they recorded with John Lennon, the beginning of November. I'm really excited for that. I heard some new Green Day music. I know that Green Day is going on tour with the Pumpkins. It's Green Day, the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. I hope I get to go see that show. That will be absolutely fucking phenomenal. I don't know what y'all are being for Halloween because I've been talking about Halloween. like I say, it was Jim Jones today. I might stick with the cult leader sort of thing and, grab my Dale Carnegie books and go heading for the hills. I don't know what to do. I was going to be Janice for the Muppets. I couldn't shake or find the blonde wig that looked enough on me. Plus, I don't want to paint my face a different color or anything like that. She's like awfully orange. I don't want someone to think that I'm Donald Trump or something. That'd be terrible. I don't want people to be MAGA mom. That'd be fucking terrible. And remember, like, MAGA didn't start with Trump. That started with Reagan. To make America great again. He was going to rebuild America. And it started before that. So all you MAGA douches, know that it started before MAGA Trump, MAGA dump. Oh, it's a Starbucks moment for me. I need to go have a Starbucks. This is what my kid's teacher would call Starbucks time. It's the time that his teacher spends in the morning having Starbucks before all the kids run in and make the teacher fucking go crazy. So I bring my kid's teacher a Starbucks on Fridays. Be like, woo, we made it through the week. Like the Starbucks you can buy in glass. So I bring like a pumpkin spice because she's like a pumpkin spice lady like myself. Get along well. And she loves it because she gets an extra shot of caffeine. And it's an iced coffee because she probably comes to work with like a hot Starbucks coffee. And she's like, it's my nice iced coffee. It's my treat through the day. So I'm like, well, you have a lot of kids to deal with. I did a great field trip this week with the kids to the art museum. That was fucking fun. We got to make things out of clay. I got the group of kids that was the most, like, the liveliest, that wanted to run off the most. But they didn't run off from Miss Tanya. Miss Tanya tells them not to run and teaches them not about running. She teaches them to pay attention to the person who's talking to us. Of course, we did an exhibit from an Indigenous artist about, like, clean water and stuff like that. My group got an extra earful about residential schools, clean water, and listening to Indigenous voices. So my group got a bonus. If you have not, speaking of Indigenous voices or not Indigenous voices, if you have not had a chance to look into the things that are going on before I go shooting my fucking mouth off on this, people have to be really informed. I'm going to give you some time to let this sink in before next podcast about the scandal that's going on with artist Buffy Sainte-Marie. One of our biggest female and Indigenous, I'm putting that in quotes for now, Indigenous artists in Canada, like ever. And there are claims now that she is not Indigenous at all and that she's not Canadian. So I would encourage you to watch this spot on the Fifth Estate on the CBC to say kind of, see what's going on and make the decisions for yourself. Just remember to be gentle with how you speak and how you are with people when it comes to this topic. This is one that's going to be really sensitive where a lot of people are hurt. There's already been an immeasurable amount of damage done to everyone involved. So be careful with this one. So you can learn here, like I say with me, every 2 weeks or every week. I mean, where it depends. You can learn every day on my Instagram, for crying out Pete. I'm available to stream everywhere. Everywhere you stream. You can stream me. You can listen. Take me with you. You can see me on YouTube if you want to watch my silly fucking face. Who knows what I'll be wearing? You never know what I'm going to wear. I might pop up wearing a fucking Davy Crockett hat. Who knows? On Instagram, you can get me at 21st Century Rocker Mom. At YouTube, it's just Tanya Candler channel. Just subscribe. It's easier if you just subscribe. It'll just come to you. TikTok, I'm at the same 21st Century Rocker Mom. You can just click the link in my bio in my Instagram. And you can get all the links to everything. If you're looking for self-care, hit the link in my link tree on Instagram and check out the Rockaholic Grooming Company and come see me. I'll get you nice and soft. So stay woke, my friends. Protect your neck and always, always root for the underdog. Smoke them if you got them. Until next time, my loves, I will see you. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Have a wonderful week and the happiest Halloween. I hope you get all the goodies. Until next time, my friends, I will see you then. I sign off and I salute you. I'll see you next time.